From the studios of the Richmond Register, it's this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. Every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, Richmond Register Sports editor Nathan Hutchinson and Richmond Register sports writer Ricky Barker will talk about this week in Madison County sports. Welcome to the show.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. I am Richmond Register Sports editor Nathan Hutchinson, and with me is Ricky Barker, Richmond Register sports writer. And right off the top of the show tonight, before we get into all the topics and our guests, which are, we have some swimming folks on tonight for the first time. So before we get into all that, though, we're excited to announce we have a little giveaway for all you folks out there.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We have a couple of passes for 1 free hour of bowling and some free complimentary shoes from our good friends over at the Galaxy Bowling Center. Ray White and those guys hooked us up with some passes that we want to pass along to you. So, Ricky, how do they win?
All right, you have to comment on this live stream, and then we're going to randomly choose from the comments who gets our passes. So there's 2 chances. So 2 people will win one of these passes. But you have to like our page, comment on this, and tag who you want to bring to you to the bowling alley.
Absolutely. And we promise we won't pick our husbands or wives or anything. We're going to pick one of you actual viewers. We're not going to
I'm a terrible bowler. This would be that would be awful. Just an embarrassment.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Ray White and those guys over there. I'm over there quite a bit. It's a great place. I used to bowl a little bit. I wasn't very good. So. But it's still fun to go bowling once in a while. And nobody keeps score anyway. When you get past like 40, it doesn't matter.
So while you're watching this, eating turkey, comment, get a chance to win, then you can take all your relatives and make up after you fought or whatever at the dinner table.
Absolutely. But this is our first giveaway, so that's kind of cool. So we really appreciate Ray White doing that for us. And so we got that coming up this week, so just chime on in there and we'll pick a couple of winners. And also, I don't have an actual copy of it, but we do have our Madison County basketball preview will be in the Saturday edition of the Richmond Register. All 4 local teams, boys and girls, all 8 teams will have full-length stories. You're not going to find that anywhere else, folks. These are full-length stories about all those teams that mention all the interviews with the coaches, interviews with coaches and talking about the players and everything. Mm-hmm. So the only place you're going to get that is right here. It'll be in the special section in the Saturday edition of the Richmond Register. So. And
thank you to our local basketball coaches for taking the time out and talk to us about their teams and what their hopes are for this season. Yeah, we got everybody. We got honestly had a very little short amount of time to turn that thing around, and everybody was so grateful. Oh yeah,
to us.
They were.
So yeah, but you get. Only place you're going to get a full-length preview of all the local teams here, and they do a little story about EKU and men and women as well. So we jump into, after all that, we jump into the biggest news of the week. I don't know, it's kind of a weird subject, I think. But obviously on Monday afternoon, we got word that, unfortunately, not surprisingly, Coach EKU football coach Mark Elder was informed he would not be retained. He was at the end of a 4-year contract, so he's not technically fired in that sense. But the contract was up, and he was not retained. And, of course, that just comes a couple of days after they finished the season with a 29-23 win over Jacksonville State. They hadn't beaten Jacksonville in 6 years. Went down there and put together a gutty performance. And some people thought maybe that might have saved Mark Elder's job, but evidently not. They finished 7-5. That's the second straight 7-win season. It hadn't happened here since 2011-2012. But the powers that be at Eastern decided to go ahead and make a change. It comes at a very interesting time in the fact that the university has an interim athletic director, so there's not a full-time athletic director. We're not really sure about the future of President Benson, and now there's no football coach. And
before signing.
Yeah, the early signing period is on December 20th, so leaves a lot more question marks than answers at this point. And
yes.
I guess, unfortunately, a lot of the powers that be over there decided that the program wasn't progressing fast enough. But it's tough. I mean, I know the expectations are big, and I guess just maybe...
A lot of legacy to live up to, I guess.
Yeah. And it's tough. Like I said, they went down to Jacksonville State. Sam Hayward kicked 5 field goals, which tied a school record. Alonzo Booth had his league-leading 13th rushing touchdown, and then Jackson Bierman caught a touchdown as well. But I talked to Mark on Friday night. We were doing a feature on Leotis Moore about the reason why he had missed his senior season because of a heart condition that he has. But I talked to him on Friday night, and it was a private conversation, so I don't want to get too much into that, just to respect his privacy. But he wanted to be here. I'll tell you that. He wanted to be here. He thought the program was heading in the right direction, and they have a bunch of kids coming back next year. I think he said like 138 starts coming back next year.
Wow.
He even told me, he would be willing to stay short term. He wasn't looking for a long term deal. He'd be willing to do that. He just had another kid. It's, growing family, and I don't know. It's just it's a very unfortunate thing. Obviously, no one at Eastern cares about my opinion, so I'm not going to give my opinion on this matter. But it's just this is now. You get to consider this. Roy Kidd was here for 39 years.
Yes.
In the 17 years since Roy Kidd has left, this will now be the 4th head coach in 17 years.
Elder was only here for 4 years?
4 years, yeah. So it's
very short time.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to build a program when you turn it over every 4 years. But once again, I'm sure no one over there values my opinion whatsoever. But then yesterday, after we got word that Mark was let go, we did have the All OVC awards came out, and
yes,
the big defensive stud Aaron Patrick was not surprisingly named the Defensive Player of the Year. 15th EKU player to win that award, first since Noah Spence did it back in 2015. 52 tackles, 16 and a half tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, an interception. He finished his career with 26 and a half sacks, the second most in school history. Absolute beast. If you've ever been to a game, he dominated every time he was on the field. He was just an absolute beast, and so good luck to him. Hopefully we'll hear his name called in the NFL draft in a couple of months. That would be
awesome.
Great. And of course, also he was the first team All OVC selection as well, along with Sam Hayworth and Darryl McCleskey, the running back who ended up leading the league in rushing yards. Second team selections: Alonzo Booth, and offensive linemen Tucker Schroeder and Graham Ashkill, and also defensive lineman Taquan Evans. So, but they'll be looking for a new head coach, and I don't know what that process will be like or what the time frame is at this point. That's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. It's just weird timing on that one, I think.
I mean, Mark Sandy
don't even know who's going to hire him.
Mark Sandy is the interim athletic director at this point, and he's not indicated that he wants to stay around very long. So do you hire an athletic director first, or do you hire a football coach first, or what order you go in, or it's just a lot of things kind of up in the air over there right now. So, but that marked the end of college football season, and unfortunately for the Eagles on Friday night, the high school football season came to an end as well. We all knew Madison Southern going up to Covington Catholic would be a challenge, to say the least, and it didn't turn out very well. No,
it didn't. Too many turnovers, kind of in the beginning, and CovCath took advantage. Got a running clock, and then just kind of soared into victory. But yeah, it was a rematch. They were undefeated, and they knew that it was going to be a tough game, but just couldn't get past them. Yeah,
Covington Catholic 49-9, and that score came late, and there was also a Tobias Storm touchdown run, but there was also a safety in there as well.
Yes, they were kind of like back to back, Yeah,
but those came late. Southern only had 66 yards of offense and didn't have a first down for quite a while.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, but Covington Catholic is just a juggernaut. 13-0. They will play. Who is it? Bowling Green this weekend in the other semifinal will be Frederick Douglass and Owensboro. But in a lot of ways, and it's almost not fair. I mean, having to play schools like Covington Catholic. Like you said, they played them in the 2017 state championship game as well, and just a school like CovCath with the resources they have and that kind of stuff to go up against a county school in some ways is not really fair. But that's the structure that we live in, the way it's played. So I guess that's just how it goes. But 7-6, they won their 4th district title in the last 5 years. Nothing at all to be ashamed of or to be disappointed about. Great careers. I know it was good to see Tobias at least get one more touchdown.
In his high school, I was very, very pleased that happened. I was like, yes! So I was rooting for him.
Yeah, he even commented on your tweet on the Twitter. He said something about my last touchdown or something like that. So yeah, it was unfortunate that it had to end that way for those kids.
Fought hard all season though.
Yeah. Hopefully we kind of wish for a better ending. But like I said, once again, just a lot to be proud of there and moving forward. And going on. So we'll turn our full attention now to basketball for a while.
Yes.
I mean, we've got
basketball season.
it's coming on fast and furious. Well, the Colonels hit the road last weekend for a couple of games in what they called the Battle for the Capital. And unfortunately for them too as well, things did not go very well up there at all.
No, it didn't. They took on Florida International. So it was Florida International last season was the number 1 team in the country in tempo. EKU was number 2. So it was kind of like, who's going to be the speedier of the two? Unfortunately, it was Florida International. They topped them 89-70. Yeah. And then they took on Cleveland State in the next game, and they dropped it. EKU fell 65-51. So
yeah, I mean, it was 38 total turnovers in those 2 games. There was just couldn't get the offense going. I know they are a little shorthanded right now. Peyton Broughton's still out. And Houston King, I think, is supposed to come back soon, though, I think, right?
Right. He wasn't able to play in those games, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll be back. But
on the mend.
Yeah. The one good thing that came out of that was Ty Taylor had a great performance.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Two good games. Was named the OVC Newcomer of the Week on Monday. So something positive to take out of that. In the Florida International game, he had 19 points and 7 rebounds. And then against against Cleveland State, he had 11 points. So. But Jamaro Brown had 19 points in the game against Florida International, and Darius Hicks had 15 rebounds against Cleveland State. So a couple of tough losses there, but they have a little bit of time to recover from that. They're 3-4 on the year now. They don't play again until Tuesday at South Carolina Upstate. So they had a good little break there.
Good long break.
Hopefully they got a chance to come back, eat some turkey, get back in the gym, kind of work out a little bit, and
everybody healthy.
And get back on track. Yeah, like I said, Houston should be back soon, right?
Yeah, I think last time I spoke to AW, which was earlier last week, was he said that every day just keeps getting better. It's just until he's comfortable to get back, and so we'll see.
And Peyton's been dealing with a knee injury. What's what kind of the prospects for him are at this point?
I think it's still, we're kind of waiting on him to fully get healed. I know he's going through some rehabilitation and stuff like that. So I would expect probably maybe next month, but don't know for sure.
Okay,
that's just conjecture.
Well, while the men were kind of struggling a bit up in D.C., the women, obviously, the EKU women had a nice little run this weekend.
Yeah, they did.
Went down to Georgia, and Brianna Bass was back in her home state, also your home state of Georgia.
Yeah, Bria, Georgia girls.
And they went down there and played Mercer, who actually was won the SoCon last year, Southern Conference, and game went to overtime. They actually were down in the overtime pretty quickly, and then Bria hit a 3, and then had another basket, and they were able to rally for a 61-60 win in overtime.
Yeah.
Did you talk to her today about being back in Georgia?
Yeah, she said that she was really excited to play and just was really honored. The coaches kind of, during overtime was like, hey, it's your moment. We trust you. Go out and do what you can do. She scored five straight points. One of them was the 3 that won the game, and she just said, she was just willing to do anything for her team, and was really excited to go down there and win, and be back at home, and so good for her. She did a great job.
Yeah, and they followed that up with a win over here Wednesday over Alice Lloyd, pretty easily, 102-65. First time they'd scored over 100 points
since 2016.
January 27, 2016. Pretty easy win, obviously. All 12 players played. All 12 of them scored.
Yes.
They scored over 100 points. And the remarkable thing is, and we mentioned this the last couple of weeks on this show, but they are now 4-2.
They won double their wins.
They won 2 games last year. So you got a chance to, I know you interviewed everybody afterwards, kind of what has been the turnaround? What's been the biggest difference everybody faced?
I talked with Bria and Samantha Williams and Samari Maubrey about kind of what the culture change has been, and a lot of it is from the team itself. They just kind of play with this chip on their shoulder. They're working hard. They want those wins. They're eager. And there's a lot of trust on that team. Everybody is not looking for glory. They're looking for wins. Yeah. So, and you can kind of say, all 12 people scored. So, 67 bench points against Alice Lloyd. So, she's just got these reserves coming in, just giving it all out on the court, and it shows.
Yeah, and it's an interesting mix that they did bring some new kids in. They do have some kids back. It's not like they overhauled the roster completely. Bria was here last year, and some other kids as well.
Yeah.
Terry Goodlett and some other ones were here last year. So they've pretty remarkably and quickly kind of
meshed together.
Put together a pretty remarkable turnaround. So. They said last year was kind of embarrassing at times. but so glad they've got that turned around and going forward and everything.
Yeah.
So
hopefully more wins to come.
yeah, and then we'll be home Sunday against Chattanooga. So if you want to come on out 2:00 over at Alumni Coliseum, come on out and cheer on the Colonels. And then we turn our attention to Berea College basketball, and the men had a good week. They went 2-0 last week. They picked up a 89-81 win over Johnson University on Saturday, and then Tuesday night over there at the Seabury Center, they beat Boyce 86-56. So they're now 4-2 on the season. They won 3 out of their last 4. And the win over Johnson, you had Terrell Carter with 27 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. That guy is a triple-double. He's a threat to go for a triple-double every time he steps on the court. He's an amazing player. And Madison Central grad Tariq Miller had 25 points and 6 rebounds against Johnson, and Andrew Doty had 12 points as well. Very easy win Tuesday over Boyce. Terrell had 31 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Like, he's almost quadruple-double territory.
He can do everything.
Yeah. And then Tariq against Boyce had 19 points. He had 5 3-pointers, and Isaac Call had 14 points as well. They will be back in action Saturday, December 7th against Brevard, so they do have some time off over the holidays.
That's great.
To get back in action. The women's team over at Berea College was 1-1 last week. They picked up a fairly easy win on Saturday over Rose-Hulman down at the Seabury Center, 71-30. They traveled down to Birmingham Southern on Tuesday and suffered a 76-66 loss. So they now fall to 5-2 on the year. Leah Hampton, the freshman, needs to have a great year for those young ladies down there. Against Rose-Hulman, she had 18 points and 7 rebounds. And then against Birmingham Southern, she had 22 points.
Wow.
So and then Bailey Vanover against Rose-Hulman had 13 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and Brianna Lanham had 9 points. So they were on our show last week. So.
Yes, they were. Thank you.
We very much enjoyed having you guys on the show. And they will be back in action next Wednesday at Campbellsville University, Harrodsburg. So that's kind of the week that was. And while the football season is ending and basketball is coming into full tune, we have swimming starting up, high school swimming. And next Wednesday over at the Alumni Coliseum, we'll have the annual Madison County Championships, where all 4 local schools will be involved in that. You were there last year with me. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a great atmosphere. Everyone kind of piles in there, and how the stands are up above the pool, and everybody kind of gets up there, and it gets loud, and it can get a little hot in there too, depending on what the temperature is outside. Yeah, I think last time my camera, I had such issues. My camera was all fogged up. I remember texting you and being like, what do I do? You're like, wait it out. You just have to wait it out. That's coming up Wednesday, and in kind of in preparation for that, we have on tonight we have model swim coaches Kyle and Kevin Knezevich and Madison Central swim coach John Stratman. So they're all going to be here in just a minute to talk about the upcoming swim seasons, and we'll go through both of their teams and kind of get ready for all that. So it's I don't think people realize how many kids in this county swim, but there's a lot of kids that swim. There are a lot of kids that swim. Yeah, it's a great sport. Yeah, even down in Southern and Berea. Southern and Berea have growing teams as well, so it's not just Central and Model, but the other schools as well. So we'll be right back to talk to Coach Kevin Knezevich and Kyle Knezevich from Model Swim. And don't forget to like and comment and share and tag the people you want. Yes, if you want to come play. If you want the swag, you got to do that. Or come bowl, not play. You can't play bowl. You can bowl. So when we will announce these winners on the next show, or we'll do a Facebook Live. And so don't forget. We'll contact you through Facebook and let you know. So get in there and win. We'll be right back.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta. Do you want to advertise on the Richmond Register Sports Show? Now you can. Contact us now at sports@richmondregister.com or message us on Facebook today. If it's sports in Madison County, we cover it. Advertise now on the Richmond Register Sports Show in Madison County.
All right, welcome back. We are here with model swim coaches Kevin Knezevich and Kyle Knezevich. And don't ask me to spell that. I know I've probably misspelled that many times over the years, along with many other people.
Right. It's all good.
But no, they thank you very much for being here. Swim season is actually underway. Actually got underway last Wednesday. You had a little meet with Dunbar, but
Yes.
the real season really begins on Wednesday with the Madison County Championships over there at Alumni Coliseum. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about all four local teams will be there.
Yep.
It's always a good time and good way to kind of gauge yourself early in the season.
Yeah, it's strange to have such a championship type meet so early in the season, I guess you could say. But it's a really good prep for our team. We have so many young swimmers that they don't swim year round. They don't really get the championship atmosphere. So to get that so early kind of really helps them prepare for later on for regional championships and going to the state tournament and state swim meet and stuff like that. So it's always good. And then, with being in Richmond, we don't have a whole lot of teams. So we see Central and Southern and Berea multiple times throughout the season, just different times. So to get everyone together in December is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, it's like I said, it's really kind of a preview of the region, though, because these are usually you guys in Central are usually the top two teams in the region, so it's a good early season test.
Yeah, like Kevin said, it's a good preview of what's to come. Not to mention we're going to have the regional meet back at our facility this year, and so it's a good warm-up for that environment, not only with those teams, but in that pool, too.
Sure. Yeah, a couple of years ago they switched over to Region 9, and we had the championships back at McBrayer last year, and that was very cool. That was, I kind of feel like that's where it belongs. I'm sure you guys you guys both swam at Model. I'm sure you guys both feel that way as well.
Absolutely. It's last year was kind of surreal to me. Well, my first year coaching back was in Barberville, and then we really started to see some growth in our team from my first year back to the second year back, and we thought we had a really good chance to win and to have it back in that pool with that atmosphere that I hadn't really experienced since I was a senior in high school. I mean, it was extremely emotional.
And you guys won the boys title, which was the first region title since your senior year in 2007.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Yes, so that was, I mean, you can't write a better script to how we ended up last year. Obviously, we want to do a combined championship, girls and boys, and so that's our goal this year. Obviously, is to get back there and do just a little bit better.
Yeah, I guess it's so apropos that you two as brothers are leading this program now, because it seems like of all the programs in this county, this seems like the most family-oriented one. I mean, you can go through from the Vincels to the Cahills to the Nasrallahs, and you can go through the Stratman. I mean, there's so many siblings, and even just down through the generations of multiple, people from the same families have been part of this program.
Yeah, sure. When you grow up, and I'm sure Kyle can attest to this, when you grow up in such a small school, I had 50 kids in my graduating class, and half of us went pre-K through 12 together. It is definitely a family atmosphere, and I think that's one thing that Coach Cahill helped grow throughout his tenure at Model, with all the great swimmers that came up. No matter how talented they were, or what college they were going to, or how they ended up in regional and state championships, they all shared that same team family feel, and we're just trying to regrow that, I guess you could say, and kind of change the culture back to what we grew up knowing. And it's definitely an uphill climb, but we're here, so we're trying to get to that point.
Yeah, it's funny because if you go into the natatorium over there, you guys' names are still up on that wall with some of the records over there, Kyle. I think I see your name up there a couple of times.
Well, I'll take credit for it, but it's only his.
Okay, you don't have any up there?
I like to think
those relays, weren't you?
I like to think mine's behind there somewhere. We just need to flip it over. But no, it's cool being a part of that, and obviously the history that we grew up with. But really, swimming around here is a small community too, and. All the coaches know each other. A lot of the kids know each other. They train on these club teams year-round, and so it's been really fun being a part of that. And obviously, when you get to do it with your brother, it's pretty special since something we grew up with. So,
yeah. Well, obviously, I knew we would talk about Tim Cahill. Obviously, he still is a huge part of this program.
Sure.
Even, I guess, almost 13 years after his death now.
Yep.
I mean, he's still, attitude is everything is still kind of the slogan of the program. So you guys
Always
swam for him. So
I don't think that's ever going away probably at this point. And his family continues to be involved with us, which is cool. And I think that's something that, and like Kevin was saying, in trying to instill in some of the younger swimmers what we had growing up with that is trying to maybe not saying it as much, but just trying to pass on some of the lessons and values that he instilled in not only us but swimmers that all over the place that grew up with him, trying to instill some of those values in those swimmers too.
Yeah, I know you guys still do the Relay for Life every year. You kind of keep the memory alive and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, we do the absolute best we can. And like Kyle said, none of these kids know. They know of him, but they don't know who he was. They don't know what it was like to be a part of his teams. And so we can't really show them that. All we can do is kind of base how we approach teaching them and coaching them off of what we learned from him. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of coaching vicariously through us.
Absolutely.
To these kids, and it pays dividends to him because it still works.
Yeah.
It works wonders to take kids that have no business scoring points at a championship meet to being in the top 8 and top 16 and contributing and feeling that passion. It's just you can't make that stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know the history, I mean, he won the 1996 combined state title.
That's right.
30 individual state champions. And then I guess they were the boys' state championship in 1999, and then a runner-up, the girls' state championship as well. So
yes, it's a
great legacy.
Another 30-year reunion of another state championship team that he had this year.
Coming this year.
So we've been back and forth with KHSAA to do that reunion as well.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, talking about this year's team, I know you guys, obviously being the size school that model is, you kind of you do battle to get numbers sometimes, but you do have a lot of kids back from a team last year. Like we said, won the boys' region title, was second in the girls, and then also second in the combined. So a lot of kids back, and like I said, you've had one meet so far, not just a little dual meet there with Dunbar, but you do have some experience coming back from, especially some kids that went on at the state as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good when you return kids and coaching staff. To have consistency is what makes swimming work. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work. And having some of these younger kids that are now juniors and seniors and sophomores, the values that we've instilled in them for the past 3 years, now they're juniors and seniors, we don't have to do as much anymore. I know, Isaac Brown has been voted captain this year by his peers, and he's one that really stands out to me as taking on that leadership role. He can relay messages to the team that we don't have to say anymore. Mm-hmm. And our other two captains, Camille Dyer, who's a junior, mm-hmm. and Victoria Taylor, who's a sophomore, a younger captain, but was voted on by her peers based. They respect her, and she's very talented. She's starting to grow and come out of her shell a little bit as well from a leadership standpoint. Obviously, she's a super talented swimmer. That goes without saying based on her results. But to see these kids kind of come out of the shell and take the team into their own is the message we've been telling them the past mm-hmm. 3 years. And to see it kind of come to fruition is really something special.
Yeah, Isaac Brown won 2 region championships last year, the 200 IM, the 100 fly. Victoria, she won 2 as well, the 200 IM and the 100 breast.
Yep.
And then I guess Colin Jackson, he's only a 9th grader.
Colin's a freshman.
Yeah, he won the 100 back last year.
Yes, and he's swimming fantastic already this year.
Yeah,
he's probably grown 6 inches since last year, so that always helps in swimming.
Yeah, Olivia Stotts also won the region championship last year, 100 free. So you got all those kids back, and along with Anthony Nasrallah, Harrison Higgs, lots of different guys.
I tell you what else is unique, Nathan, is this year we're really proud of this too because of how coming up through the program. But we've added diving back this year, so we've got 2 divers who are going to be part of the team doing their diving up at UK, and so that's a component even in a small region that can make a big difference, and as close as the points were last year too. that's something that can tip the scales. And so they're really excited about that. We're really glad to have that back as part of the program this year too.
Yeah, the boys region, there was one competitor last year.
Right, exactly.
And the boys 1 meter diving. So
exactly.
That's 8 points and 6 points, even if you finish second and third.
Not hard to do that math. Yeah. It's a good thing to have. So we're excited for them.
Yeah. Well, who were those two kids?
Danny Smith and Kate Conley. They're both 7th graders at Model. And they both dive for Kentucky Dive Club up in Lexington. So they're on a year-round dive team. So they practice up there, and they'll do meets with us and for us, and it'll be exciting to see how they do at the regional meet. And hopefully they get a chance to go to the state meet as 7th graders, which not many kids get a chance to do that. So to have such young kids want to get involved with our team is awesome. You can't replicate that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Well, you mentioned club, and kind of what used to be Colonel Aquatics now, I guess, has kind of been combined with the Lexington Dolphins now.
Yes.
I guess you kind of work with those guys, and I know that's part of what you do.
Yes. So I coach that year-round team, and I coach kids from Central, I coach kids from Southern, and obviously Model. So I'm coaching everybody, and to again go back to that kind of family atmosphere. The best competition comes out when you respect one another, I think, and to have these kids train with one another and then compete at the highest level, they absolutely want to beat each other really badly, but the respect that they have for one another and the cohesion that they're kind of building right now is fantastic to watch, and I'm excited. I'm super excited about this season for high school swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah, after you graduated, you went on to UK, then you went on to Western.
I did. Yeah.
I guess it's a bad thing to say, right?
Well, if Eastern had a swim team, I may have done
exactly.
that, but they didn't, and so.
Yeah, but now you're back home. You're actually you're the aquatics and facilities coordinator, so you kind of run the pool and everything.
Yeah.
Talk about that position.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to be hired at EKU as the aquatics coordinator. So I run Alumni Coliseum Pool, I run Arlington Pool, and then they've just built, or they're finishing up a new rec center at Eastern that has a 4-lane, 4-foot deep pool with a whirlpool and stuff, and I'll be running that facility as well. I wish they would have made it a few more lanes and a little bit deeper, but as long as we have AC, we've still got history, and
those old
that place is
Eastern's
fantastic.
electrifying eels and stuff is still on the wall in there and everything.
I'm definitely doing all I can to kind of polish that facility at Alumni Coliseum. We're working on the blocks. They've gone around and done some things electrically, and things are getting better, cleaning stuff up. So it's an ongoing process, but it's exciting.
That's a cool job, but I think you have a cooler job, though. He's aviation professor.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit how you got into
all
that.
Things, man. Yeah. So I finished school, was coaching all the way through school swimming, and worked at the airport in Lexington for a number of years. Still work there part time, and then they had an opening in the aviation program here, and always wanted to teach, and I just didn't think it would be this early in life, and so got the opportunity to come back, and then it just so happened that lined up with Kevin coming back into town. And then the coaching link happened right after that, and so it was it was almost one of those things that seemed like it was meant to be. You couldn't have written it any better, but it's been awesome. We have a great program, great students and staff, and just awesome to have all that going on at EKU right now.
Yeah. I mean, how often are you guys up in the air? How does that work? Do you actually
a lot, yeah. We're adding aircraft. All that we just took this past month, delivered 3 new aircraft. We have 310 students. We'll break another record next year, I'm sure. The industry is just booming right now, so it's a great time to be in that. And even have a couple model kids that have matriculated over into the aviation program. So it's still have the small community feel, kind of, even a program growing that much. But just it's a great place to be right now. So
yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the programs that has really. Taken off, no pun intended, of course.
Very good.
That was too cheesy.
That was good.
That was too cheesy.
Yep.
Well, man, I appreciate you guys coming in. It's always you're always so helpful to us. You give us all the stats and everything. And like I said, if you want to come out next Wednesday over at Alumni Coliseum, if you come in the back entrance, it's usually open, or you can come around the front and walk around. I don't think you guys even charge admission, do you? I think
we do not. Free. No.
all 4 local schools, and
That's
really,
right.
I mean, obviously Central won, the girls region and the overall region, but I mean, Southern's team is growing a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Brian does a
great job down
fantastic job.
And Berea also has a lot of.
Yeah, absolutely.
has a lot of
This is
kids.
going to be a great atmosphere. So great preview of what's to come in February.
Yeah, it gets really loud in there.
It does.
It
Yeah,
can
it
get
really does. It's going to
really
be a good time.
competitive.
Yeah.
And one of the best parts too is hopefully Tad Barnes is still with Madison Southern. I hope is he still swimming?
Yeah, I haven't heard, but always a crowd favorite
Oh,
too. And
yeah.
what a great example for all of us that he sets.
Very inspiring,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the way Brian works with those kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a class act, man. I respect the hell out of him.
Yeah. And another example is somebody who we grew up with. We've all known
Yeah.
each other for a long time. It's just really cool to have all of us back together and doing all that. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really kind of a small county
yeah.
we live in, but there's so many. We have kids that swim in Lexington. We have kids over in Winchester with the sailfish. And
Yep.
we have kids at Telford and
All
and
over.
they're all over the place. You'd be surprised how many kids in this county actually swim.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. You think, oh, maybe it's just a dozen kids or something. No, it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I think the Southern's program has exploded. They
Yeah.
have lots of numbers. The results I'm sure will come along
Absolutely.
later. But,
Yeah.
but they haven't. Brandon Turner and a few kids have been really good. But,
Absolutely.
but the more they get into it, the better they'll get. It's
For
better
sure.
for everybody. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
once again, thank you guys so much for
Thanks.
coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Always helping us out and getting us stats and everything, and we appreciate it. We'll be
Appreciate
right
you
back
guys,
with
yeah.
Madison Central coach John Stratman.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
All right, welcome back. We are here with Madison Central swim coach John Stratman. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep.
You guys were supposed to open the season last week, but you got a little scheduling issue there and had to reschedule. So the season will officially open for you guys on Wednesday at the Madison County Championships over at EKU. So excited to get the season started.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were disappointed that we weren't able to have our meet at home last Wednesday. So this upcoming Wednesday, we're going to hopefully showcase our talents, and we have an excellent squad this year. We have 19 girls, 17 boys, and pretty deep across all the different events and strokes. So we're excited.
Yeah, and you've been a part of the Madison County Championships at 3 of the 4 schools.
Yes.
The last few years.
Yes.
Obviously, we're at Model for a couple of years and at
Yes.
Southern, and so you're very familiar with this. It's a great atmosphere. It's a fun time to have all the local teams in there together.
Oh, it's a blast because as Model and Southern and Berea will be there, we have great coaching relationships, and it's just fun to get together and compete and just enjoy everybody's company and just have fun.
Yeah, and you guys are coming off a great year. You guys won your second straight combined region championship. You also won the girls' title as well, and you got a lot of those kids coming back.
Yes, and so we lost 2 outstanding seniors on the guys' side last year in Mason Neal and Blake Brockman. And this year we have some newcomers that have joined our team that have some swimming experience, but then we also have some swimmers that are really young that are going to be expected to help fill the shoes of those that left in Caden Graves and Luke Guile. So we're excited about what we have, and hopefully haven't seen them compete yet because this will be our first meet coming up, but should do pretty nice. We should be fine.
Yeah. Going into your 3rd year at Central, I know you.
This is my 2nd year at Central.
Second year at
Yes.
Central. Okay. A lot of people I don't know. You actually know you were a model swimmer back in the day under Coach Cahill.
Yes, sir. Yes. He's a mentor, a friend, a coach. He actually was my coach from the age of 5 all the way up through my senior year in high school, and we remained friends. And I learned so much from him, and just a wonderful person. And the 2 gentlemen at the Coach Model, the Knezevich brothers, are just instill the various things that Coach Cahill did, and just it's just nice to see the familiar faces that are coaching model now.
Yeah, and actually, you actually took over after Coach Cahill passed. Unfortunately, you were there for
Yes,
a couple of years after him.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and those were great experiences, and learned a lot, and had some really good teams and great kids and great families.
Yeah, and then you went on to swim at Georgia. I know you got that big ring sitting on your finger. You want to tell us about that there?
We actually
It was a national championship ring?
yes, this is we finished third place at NCAA's my sophomore year in college. We took 10 guys to NCAA's, and normally a team will take 18. And so that would be considered a full list. So we had 10 guys, and we were all clicking on the right cylinder, and we started out, we were 10th on the first day, then we moved up to 4th, and then the next thing we knew, we were competing for second place. And it came down to the last relay. We ended up being third place at NCAA's, and nobody even thought that we were even going to be at that level. But it was just a special group of guys who came together, and everything clicked. It was wonderful.
What were your events?
And here's the funny thing about that. Typically at NCAA's, the winning team will jump in. Mm-hmm. We were, on a rare occasion, we finished third place, and we threw our coaches in. We all jumped in the water because we were so excited, and everybody else was like, "What's going on?" and look at us having such a great time.
Yeah.
My events that I swam the 50 free and the 100 free.
Okay.
In high school and college. And those were my specialties, along with the relays.
Okay. Well, funny you mentioned that jumping into the pool thing, because we know the last year that you and Alicia had a little deal with the kids. If you won the region title,
we would race each other.
You guys would jump into the pool right there at Alumni Coliseum afterwards and race, and you guys did that.
Yeah, we love doing that kind of stuff because the kids enjoy it, and that's it's all about the kids and them enjoying their time and competing and having fun.
Yeah, and Alicia, obviously a very accomplished swimmer herself. She got to Michigan State. Is that where she went?
Yes. She was at Michigan State, and she's a wonderful coach, and lucky to have her as my assistant. Great deal of knowledge. The kids enjoy her as a coach, and we strategize and we work well together, and it's just a great combination.
You kind of let her do more of the girls, you do the boys, or just kind of combination of both? You just kind of work together on all of it?
We both coach both squads and complement one another, and it's just it's a great thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, when I mention some of these kids, I mean, you do have a lot of kids back that have done really great things. I mean, you look at Isabella Cooksey and Olivia Young, two juniors. They both won 2 region championships last year. Isabella won the 200 free and the 100 back, and Olivia won the 100 fly and the 500 free. So they're two very talented young ladies. Yes,
we do have 4 seniors that are two of which are brand new seniors. One of which is a returner. Who was a contributor last year in the 50 free and the 100 back in Abby Purvis. The other senior is a returner. She swam 2 years ago, and she's doing really well. Madison wrote us. So we got some returning people. And then our juniors, speaking of which, the names that you just read off, Isabella Cooksey, Cecilia Cobb, who scored our only women's points at the state meet. Awesome diver, awesome swimmer. And then Haley Hill is a solid swimmer who's going to contribute in many different events. And then we got Morgan Thomas, who's a sprinter. And then Olivia Young, was a regional champion and a runner-up last year. Leah Zimmerman, who's a breaststroker and a sprinter. So our junior class is like outstanding. And then we have several that are coming up. We have great sophomores, a lot of walk-on sophomores, and then some freshmen, Lily Kate Keaton and Cameron Duff, who are going to provide depth as freshmen and maybe even surprise some folks as far as how well that they can contribute early on in the season. And then brand new swimmers. We have Kirsten Eads, who's a good contributor in the backstroke. She's a returner, 8th grader. And then we have Caden Kuiper, who's brand new. And then Emma McDowell, who I think is going to be a state champion before too long in the sprints, 50 free, 100 free, or even fly. She was a zone qualifier last year for the YMCA team that I coach, and she's outstanding. And then lastly, Ava Stotts. She's a 7th grader, and she's brand new to it. She swam for the country club at Arlington. She's going to help us out.
Is that Olivia's sister?
Yes, and that's actually Olivia Stott's sister.
Yeah, she's a model.
Which is neat because they'll be competing against one another, and her sister's an excellent swimmer.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Piranhas over there at Telford. Talk a little bit about that. You guys just had your sprint meet a while back.
Yes, we just had our sprint meet a couple weeks ago, and we did extremely well. We had a zone cut by Logan Reichley, who's on our men's team, who competes for Central as well. Our team is, we've got 48 swimmers. We've grown by about 12 swimmers from last year. So the growth is there. The kids are excited. We're competing at a high level, and we're training really hard right now at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But we got a really good team out there.
Yeah, and like I said, you mentioned some of the divers, but Seth Greer obviously won a region title last year, and those are big points, like Kyle and Kevin were just saying in here. That's you win that, it's 10 points, and that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Seth is an outstanding diver, and he's actually getting starting to get looked at for colleges. Right now, he's taking a trip to go see the Merchant Marines college. And I think that Cecilia and he are going to have more offers and trips as they get into their senior year. But right now, we'll see how this year goes, but everything's looking really good.
Yeah. All right. We'll set to start the season for real on Wednesday over there at McBrayer Arena. Alumni Coliseum, whichever one you prefer to call it. I guess either one. It's always a fun atmosphere. Always get everybody in there, and that place gets loud and a little bit hot sometimes too, depending on what the weather is outside. You can get a little sweaty in there depending on what the temperature is like, but it's always a fun time.
Yes.
So, well, a good chance, because these are the best teams in the ninth. Really, the ninth region. These are really the best. You and Model are the best teams in the ninth region. So
we're excited to compete and see where we stack up. Let the points fall where they do, and that's all you can do.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Yep.
And so if you want to watch some high school swimming, I don't think they even charge admission over there. You can just come right on in and check it out. But it's the Madison County Championships Wednesday over at EKU's Alumni Coliseum. Coach,
5:30.
5:30. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we appreciate you watching this week's show. We'll see you next week.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta. Do you want to advertise on the Richmond Register Sports Show? Now you can. Contact us now at sports@richmondregister.com or message us on Facebook today. If it's sports in Madison County, we cover it. Advertise now on the Richmond Register Sports Show in Madison County.
Almost 2 decades. That's right, I've covered local sports in Madison County for almost 2 decades. The Madison Central Indians, the Madison Southern Eagles, the Model Patriots, the Berea Pirates, the EKU Colonels, and the Berea College Mountaineers. I've covered them all. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, track, cheerleading, golf, youth sports, and more. It's all being covered by the Richmond Register. Join us for a brand new weekly sports program. Watch the Richmond Register Sports Show every Thursday at 9 p.m. Be sure to like, share, and follow us on all our social networks, and to subscribe to the Richmond Register online or get your own subscription delivered. If it's sports in Madison County, we cover it.